to another episode of Crystal Hook Fishing. We got Evan. I just woke him up by yelling that. But we are currently halfway through our drive to the Keys. It's 3 a.m. and we're going to be there at 6 a.m. Going to get on the water right at sunrise. So stay tuned and I will see you on the water. Look at that road. There's nothing straight ahead of us. But we're not even on Alligator Alley. We're taking the south way down. Anyway, see you guys out on the water. So we're literally 30 minutes away from the boat ramp and the entire wheel blew off. Look at that. All right, we got it on a new tire. Oh my God. Please be good. Really particly, but I can see the bottom.
Welcome back underwater, everybody. This is the Keys trip for the summer 2024. We might do a winter trip this year, but I'm trying to diversify the travel. So this might be the last Keys video for a while. Right now I'm actually in Maine. I'm going to be diving here, going to be diving in Boston. Also going to be diving in hopefully Puerto Rico in November. So we got a lot of cool trips planned. This is the first drop. I was worried about the Viz, but it looks like the Viz is pretty good. Just a little particly. We're dropping on a reef that we go to a lot. We call this spot Lion's Den. I cleaned it up for you there with the color correction. And I'm doing that for all the dives now, so that you guys can see a little better what's going on, differentiate reef and fish, etc. It's the first dive, so I didn't go all the way to bottom. And I just saw this mango, and I was like, alright. Cool, lunch. You guys know how much I like mangoes, and so we're getting after it. Gonna try to take a shot on this bad boy. He's kind of swimming away from me, and of course I whiff. You know, getting the rust off. It's alright. Alright, so heading up after that phenomenal failure, and you guys get ready to hold your breath with me on this next dive. All of our spots here on this day are about 70-75 feet, and most of my dives are about a minute and a half. I'm diving a lot better right now. But back during this trip, obviously it just traveled a lot. Been driving the boat, had to deal with the whole trailer debacle, so my heart rate wasn't great, etc. I could make all these excuses, but really it's just the current in the Keys is crazy. So the dives weren't, 2-minute bomb dives. They were what I could manage with all this current. You can see this spot just has these massive boulders, and it's super cool. When it's on, it's really on. There's just blacks everywhere. When it's not on, it looks kind of like this. You don't really see that many blacks, but then occasionally you'll have like a mutton or a cubera or some mangoes swim through. We realized there weren't blacks on it, so we decided to take a couple more drops, and then we were going to leave. You can see that black margate down at the bottom of the screen there. Kind of just perusing, looking to see if there's any blacks. Don't see any, so I line up on this mango. Follow him around the reef a little bit. Wait for him to give me a good shot, unlike that last one. I fire away. String him. I thought he was going to wrap me up good, but he didn't. And that right there is my first fish of the trip. Whoop, whoop. Bringing him on up. Get on back to the boat. But yeah, the current has been horrible in the Keys for this trip. The whole trip was like this. We'd start a series of dives and end up super far from where we started. I was going up current and letting the current take me back towards the boat, as opposed to getting swept down current and just getting absolutely destroyed shooting a fish and having to swim back like 150 yards. You'll see I start putting fish on the stringer of my spear gun because I just don't want to deal with it, with having to swim all the way back to the boat just to go back to the spot. Getting back down, this is a different reef. It's a big ledge, a little further. I think it's like a couple miles away from the last one. Lateral, not any deeper. Shallow side is 70, 75. Deep side drops off into 80, 90 feet. Getting down, doing my grunts, looking for some mangoes. Looking around for blacks, but I'm really just hunting, proper hunting. Going to the bottom, sitting, waiting. I got a little bit more of my groove, sitting right near the ledge so that I can look over and see if there's any mutton coming into my grunts. Trying to be as patient as I can here, but knowing that I got a bit of a work to do to get back up because of all this current. Although sitting on the bottom helps with the current because then you don't have to fight it. I decided to take that mango right there and head on back. You know I love mangoes. I take a mango over pretty much anything at this point. Super tasty. You can make them in a bunch of different ways. Although, you know, one wonders about the financial wisdom of going and spending like $1,000 to go to the Keys just to shoot a bunch of mangoes. But that's for the philosophers to deal with, not me. Alright, reloading. We just slapped that mango on the stringer because I'm like 100 yards from the boat already. Don't do that, by the way. Some guy got hit by a boat in the Keys during mini season, and now that I know that, I'm not doing that again. There weren't that many boats around. It was a weekday, but whatever. Still don't do it. Anyway, heading down. Got that color correction back in there. I love getting to a spot and seeing a bunch of fish above it. Most of the time when I'm in the Keys, because there's so much reef everywhere, I won't even drop on a spot unless I see on the sonar that there's like a cloud of fish above it. That means there's bait there, that means there's life there, worth taking a drop. If there's nothing above the spot, I normally just move on to the next one without getting in the water, because we have too many spots down there to, you know, justify dropping on every single one, especially when half of them are going to be lifeless. We spend a lot of time just looking for spots that have life. All the spots look amazing. There's just coral everywhere. There's big ledges, all that stuff. But it's about finding the ones that actually have life on them. Another mango right there. Blast him. Takes off. Got both mangoes on the stringer. What is that? 3 mangoes for me on the day. And at this point, I'm like, all right. Let's try to find some other types of fish, other quarry, because I feel pretty warmed up. Got food for the dinner, food for the table. Got some mangoes. They're not bad sized ones too. They're not big, they're not giants, but they're decent. Alright, getting back down. This dive, I've resolved not to shoot a mango, which is rare for me, to say the least. On the way down, different reef this time again. It's not really different. We just moved like, I don't know, like 600 yards down that same ledge. And so now we're in a spot, at least like in my simrad it's different. I call it a different spot in the simrad. Getting down, looking around on this ledge. You can see how steep that ledge is. It's just so great for seeing fish. And right around here you'll see a black just come right out of the coral and kind of spook in. Where is he? Where'd he go? Oh, there he is. I line up and I'm just like, nah, he's too small. Not even worth chasing. So I head back up and I go back down a different area. It's good to see blacks though, because then you know you're kind of in the right area. You're like, alright, I'll stick around here for at least, you know, another 3 or 4 dives to see if I can see some more blacks. There wasn't as much, like, tons of bait on top of this spot, though, so I wasn't planning on sticking around forever unless I saw some juicy fish, which I do on this dive. I see a really, really nice, you guessed it, mango, but check it out. I wouldn't shoot at it unless it was super nice. The GoPro doesn't even do it justice. Sinking down to the bottom. And And I saw him before, but I didn't really focus on him. I tried to pull the trigger on him. Just tracking him, trying to be super calm. And he just tears right out. He was much bigger than the other ones I had shot, which is the only reason. My shaft actually got stuck after shooting him, which sucked. So I had to go back down and recover it. So yeah. This is another black I saw. You'll see him right there. That one was legal, but I was on my way up. So, get ready to hold your breath for the next dive. Alright. This is a new spot. We had not dove this spot previously, so we're just figuring out what's down here. This is near the spot where in the last video Evan shot that kingfish. It's around that spot. We were just kind of idling over towards it, and then there was a boat on top of it, and I looked on the sonar, and there was a ton of bait over right where we were. So I was like, let's hop in and see what's popping, see what's going on. And so we hop in, and I get down, and I see a nice black just chilling on the sand. You'll see him to the right there. Boom. So at this point I stop kicking completely and just flutter down. I'm pretending I'm basically a flasher, and I line up on this fish for a little bit. I'm just sitting here pretending I don't want to shoot the fish, looking around, being nice and mellow, and that's Evan's third person, and he goes nuts and tears right off. Yeah. Not my best sharpshooting day. 2 tear-offs in a row is not where you want to be. But that's what can you do? Evan had the perfect reaction. A little shrug. I lined up on that fish for forever. I was literally just sitting right in front of it for like 30 seconds. I was waiting for like a perfect shot. Whatever. Alright. We're back down. Same spot, but that was the deep side of the ledge, like 75, 80 feet. We're now on the shallow side of the ledge, like 60, 65 feet. Not even the ledge, it's just the top. This is just like the reef on top. There was a big school of mangoes. There was a bunch of bait around. We dove the shallower side. Nice nurse shark coming in to check me out as I'm grunting. I'm looking down at all these mangoes, and I'm like, I'm not doing it. I don't care how big they are. I have to have some kind of self-control. I have to have some restraint. Trigger discipline, they call it. And then I look and I see this nice black, and I'm like, oh, yeah, let's do it. Following him, making sure I get a good close shot. Don't rush it. Boom. Nurse shark turns right around, rushes straight for him. You see it right there. And Evan's already on his way down to try to help me out with this nurse search situation. Pull him clear, and Evan goes and recovers him for me. Got our first black of the trip. This black actually had like somebody's fishing line stuck in it. A yellowtail jig with like like 10-pound test and a yellowtail jig were just stuck in his mouth, which is pretty cool. You can see the line kind of sticking out right there. I'm like messing with it. And there's the yellowtail jig. But yeah, first black of the trip secured right there. This is a nice black too. I actually printed this one, so if you guys want to see, or if you guys want to buy the print, go to the Crystal Hook Fishing Instagram, linked in the description of the video. Throw that guy in the boat. Then we headed in shallow, and on the way in, we always check this one cave because I've shot cuberas out of it, shot nice dog snapper out of it, and so we checked it on the way in. Got that dive light. Looking up in there. I don't see cubera or anything like that. But I do see, you guessed it, a mango. I really gotta stop doing this. I tell myself I won't do it, and then I always do it. I eat all of it, man. I eat every mango I shoot. I just can't help myself, man. Yummy. He's got those like little cubera stripes, but he's the smallest one of the day. That is such a cool like ledge though. It's just like so deep down there, like back. It goes all the way back. But yeah, that'll do it for the underwater content for the day. stay tuned for part 2. We'll come at you with it next week.
All right, we're at Wendy's. We finished up diving. We're exhausted. It's like 6 o'clock. We got out at like 7. This Frosty's good. Very frosty. But got some blacks. We're gonna try to get on snapper tomorrow, but no promises. But that's the end of day 1. I'll see you in the next video for the next episode.